Hello everyone and welcome to Stan the Wine Man TV. I am your host, Stan Rattan, and this is the Blue Collar Wine Show, where I try to help you spend your wine dollars wisely. And 2 days in a row I'm doing blind tasting format. It's kind of fun. I hope you're enjoying it. Make a comment, let me know what you think. Some of my loyal watchers, please comment. Let me know what you think. Do you like the blind format? I liked it because, like in the last episode, the least expensive Malbec got the best grade, which is kind of cool. It doesn't always happen that way, but in this particular instance it did. And today we're doing Chardonnay, the #1 selling varietal in the United States. I believe they plant like 95,000 acres of Chardonnay in Cali and around 5+ in Washington State. So it's grown all over the place. It originated, the name Chardonnay comes from a commune in the region of Macon in Burgundy, and it's literally means place of thistles. It's a little fun fact for you, place of thistles. It is also in France referred to as Chablis. It comes from Chablis and Pouilly-Fuissé. Those are two other names of Chardonnay in France. And we see more and more French labels coming out with the actual name Chardonnay on it. They find that they build a loyalty base because people in the United States who are buying the French wines that don't want to take the time to find out all that stuff, all those facts, you know, they can sell it quicker to those buyers. So for Chardonnays, one of these shards is really dear to my heart. I don't know which one it is in this, but I pulled it out of my cellar, and it's aged for a while. It's one of my favorites from Santa Cruz, and so I'm excited to see how that one's developing. This one's really golden in color. People like Chardonnay because there's so many variations of Chardonnay. You know, Chablis, where it's very mineral driven. It's very crisp, unoaked. Burgundy has oaked and unoaked Chardonnays. Basically unoaked, but some oak is being introduced into some of those white Burgundies. And in the United States, a lot of people are jumping on the unoaked bandwagon. One of my favorites, well, I have two actually, Morgan Metallico, which is an unoaked Chardonnay. I like that one a whole lot. And Steelbird by Smoking Loon, believe it or not, is a really good unoaked Chardonnay. And then from Washington State, they have HIP, House of Independent Producers, does an unoaked version of Chardonnay. Anyway, let's see what we get on the nose. So a little bit of butterscotch coming through, a lot of pears, hints of pineapple. This is very subtle, has a lot of finesse to it. It's like a, I hate to use the word pretty. I hate to use that word pretty, but it's very floral, very nice, very subtle, but very intense at the same time. I love a nose like that. The color on this is crazy. Very, very golden, which would tell me it might be a little bit older. The older they get, the more golden they get. Get a little bit of a baking spice characteristic coming through. Let's see what we get on the palate. That's actually making me drool. A term we like to use in the wine world, we say it's a Burgundian because white Burgundy has a particular flavor profile. This is like Burgundy with California sunshine. I mean, I can get it. There's a lot of butterscotch, a load of butterscotch. Just like I just got done sucking one of those butterscotch discs by Brock, I used to love those things when I was a kid. My neighbor, Mr. McCullough, I believe was his name, used to come over and listen to the ham radio. He was a ham radio operator, but he always had those butterscotch discs. This has butterscotch with a little pineapple, a little bit of apple, a little bit of pear, all coming through. Good intensity, but nice dry finish. This Chardonnay has a lot going on for it. Satisfy those who like perhaps a little bit of oak influence, barely, and those who like unoaked Chardonnay, although this is not purely unoaked Chardonnay, that's for sure. You don't get that butterscotch. They didn't put liquid butterscotch in this, my friends. That comes from wood. Like that Chardonnay a lot. Like I said, good intensity, but finesse at the same time. Number one, let's give it a grade. Okay, on to number two. It's going to be hard to follow up. One. By the way, shout out to Tay. He set this blind thing up for me. I don't have a crew of people that help me with this. Pretty much going solo, but I do ask for help sometimes at the store setting this up. Number two. I won't zoom in on the bags. Let's see what we get on the nose. This one much lighter in color. Definitely not the golden of the other one. The other one had to be older Chardonnay. Now this has just a boatload of apples and Asian pear. Say Asian, you know, it's a lighter pear nose. Very subtle, but again, lots of apples, lots of pears. I get a little bit of a, like a nutmeg or component coming through. Almost like they barely sprinkled a little bit of a nutmeg on the apples and pears. Let's see what we get on the palate. A lot of citrus on the back end of this one. I'm trying to decide if there's any oak on this one. There might be a little bit of more neutral oak. There is some though. Very light on the palate. I mean, very light. This is a lot of apples. The apples come through big time. The pear is just kind of underneath the apple. Very fresh. This is a very fresh Chardonnay. This is a Chardonnay you could have with seafood, with shellfish, with mussels, oysters. I would seriously, I'm just wondering if there's any oak on this at all. Like I said, if there is, it's barely there. Like I said, nice and fresh, good long finish. That's where I feel there might be, but I'm thinking there's not oak on this one. It's not there enough. It's very fresh, very alive, good flavors. This would be for the guy that's looking for Chardonnay without oak influence. Definitely has the Chardonnay fruit big time, the apple, white flowers. It had a little spritz on it, which kind of surprised me, but it wasn't off-putting. I mean, I'm not sure exactly why that was the case. But let's give this one a grade. Okay. Move on to the next one. Number three. Number three. Rinse. Both of those were good Chardonnays in entirely different ways. And that's why I really like Chardonnay. I just have to tell you that because, you know, a lot of people, there used to be this like real big trend, ABC, anything but Chardonnay. And it's really kind of silly. I mean, you can say whatever you want. I'm not saying you're silly. I'm not trying to say that. But what I am trying to say is that Chardonnay just has so many different faces. It's, you know, you go to white Burgundy, it's so different than a Chablis. Well, Chablis is part of Burgundy, but the northern part of Burgundy, down the central part of Burgundy, you know, just all these different places where they do Chardonnay, and then you go to the United States, it's so different. You go Washington different, California different, and then different styles within those states. It's really cool. It's a really cool varietal, and it's really fun to taste the different wines. Let's see what we get on the nose with number 3. Now this one has the oak, it has the butter, like that definitely buttered pineapple is what I'm getting on the nose. And again, I get a little hit of baking spice. Apples come through big time. There are so many similar characteristics of all Chardonnay. They all have different, I mean, there's little nuances in each one, but basically it's apples, pears, and pineapple. And if they use oak, butter. Sometimes you just get straight up oak, it really comes through. But this has a nice subtle kind of butterscotch buttery edge to it. Let's see what we get on the palate. This definitely has more lumber on it than all 3 of these together. That wood comes through big time on the mid palate. Almost gives a little burn on the finish, which, but I still think it's a nice mouthfeel. The pineapple and apple elements come through. Nice creamy texture on the mid palate, good flow. The wood just comes through at the end, really attacks the back of the palate big time. You know, the beauty of these is they're at perfect temperature. I think this is the temperature that most people would drink them, and I've said this many times. I am never going to review a white wine at room temperature, and I'll tell you why. One more time, because none of you do it. So why do you want a critic or a wine reviewer reviewing wines at room temperature when you're never going to get those things out of it? But I don't try to get too cold because you're not going to get anything out of it. So I encourage you to not drink it super cold. Drink it at a refreshing, 48, 50 degrees is a nice temperature. That's where I try to review those wines for your benefit, so you can really know what you're going to get. I like this Chardonnay. I think the people that like oak on the Chardonnay are going to like this a lot. It's not overbearing. It's a little more than I like, but that doesn't matter. It's your palate. I'm going to grade it. All right. Last Chardonnay. Took a little longer on the last video than I want to, so I'm hoping I can speed this one up just a bit. Sometimes I get a little bit on a bandwagon, and I know that maybe you like to hear that, maybe you don't. I don't want to lose viewership because my videos are going too long. I don't want to rinse it out that much. Right, number 4. Number 4. Right there. Let's see what we get on the nose. Ooh, this one almost has like a stinky burnt match element on it. I like that. It's always interesting. Always interesting when you get those cool things on the nose. Yeah, a little stinkified, but it's got the butter coming through. Almost like a walnut, like a nut characteristic, like almonds or walnuts. So I get butter, apples, walnuts, a little bit of burnt match, strike the match, just that little hit of sulfur. Let's see what we get on the palate. That's the most interesting nose so far. I like the seamless flow across the palate of this wine. Definitely oak influence, but way in balance, and I'm getting a little bit of white pepper on the finish, which I find quite intriguing. I get butter, apples, a little bit of pineapple, like really ripe pineapple. Good finish. The lumber stays in check. You know it's there, but it never rears its ugly head and says, I'm there, boom, boom. Good balance. Great balance on that Chardonnay. I'm excited to find out which one this is. Nice long finish. It's kind of got that toasty, kind of buttery, sort of apple, pear, pineapple thing going on. It seems like there's a little minerality in this too, which I find intriguing. Almost like a little bit of apple skin on the finish, but not a lot. A little bit of lemon coming through. Very interesting Chardonnay. Once again, like I said, this is almost light enough to go with shellfish. Certainly be great with halibut or roasted chicken. Wow. I like that. Okay. Time to unveil. I always like this. Is exciting. I like this. I like to see where they all fell. So, in last place, number 3. Second place, number 2. No, third place, number 2. Second place, number 4. First place, number 1. So, unveiling. See it. Number 3 with a B is the Duckhorn Napa Valley Chardonnay 2013 Classic Producers. This rolls in at $35. Might be a little pricey to get that oak coming through. There you go. Let me show you an up close and personal view of the Duckhorn. There it is. $35. B. Okay. Oops. Let's go there. Wait a minute. Okay. Losing track here. In third place. It's hard to coordinate. With a B+. Bear Winery. Chard with an S. Kind of cute. 2014. It's unoaked, as I said. And it is $20. Good Chardonnay, nice and fresh. I like this one a lot. B+. I thought it would showed off the Chardonnay fruit very well. Like that wine. In second place with a B+, A-. Talbot Logan 2013 Chardonnay Sleepy Hollow Vineyards. And I got the wrong price on it. This rolls in at $35 also. And Santa Lucia Highlands. I like this one because it showed a lot of balance between oak and fruit. Sorry about that. Got a little brain. I was trying to. I don't have a camera guy right now. I wish I did. Sorry guys. I have to run the remote at the same time. Sometimes I get stuck. But I like the Talbot Logan Sleepy Hollow Vineyard Chardonnay because of the balance of fruit and oak. I just thought it was very good. I really like the Bear a lot as an unoaked Chardonnay. For those who like unoaked Chardonnays for $20, that's a steal. And number 1 with an A grade. No surprise here. The 2008 Mount Eden Vineyards Chardonnay Santa Cruz estate bottled. This stuff is amazing. Probably opened it a little too soon, but I think it's drinking super now. This stuff will age for up to 20 to 25 years. That butterscotch, I've tasted one that was close to that age, thanks to Ted, my buddy Ted, and it tasted like liquefied butterscotch, but a lot of finesse. I love this winery. That is $62. But if you want to dip into a domestic Chardonnay that will age for a long, long time, Mount Eden Vineyards is the place to go. So that was fun. That was fun. Actually, you know, I'm not totally surprised. I'd never tried the Bear before. This is my first time with Duckhorn. And I've never tried the Talbot Sleepy Hollow. I've had the Kelly Hart, which is their kind of lower priced Chardonnay. So, very fun. And I hope you're enjoying these programs. Make a comment. Please make a comment. Let me know whether you're enjoying them or not. You know, I appreciate the input. It helps me to know that you're really paying attention. Thanks for watching. And remember, wine is not a mystery. It is just fermented grape juice. Drink it. Enjoy it. But always be willing to try new things. Don't get stuck in a rut. Try new things. Hopefully this program is helping you to reach out and try new things. But never, ever, 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 ever let somebody tell you, anybody tell you what you should or should not like. And if you do that, together, we can take the snob out of wine.